if you could tell me a little bit about how you came to even be in this event and why you said yes to it.
Well, I met Jean Harper quite a while ago when I had a company called Heart-Centered Business Networking, and we were having a special event and a fundraiser for Big Cat Rescue, and a friend of a friend invited Jean to my function. And that night I performed, spoke a little bit, and just Jean and I connected, and shortly thereafter she told me she wanted to interview me to be a Moxy woman. I was like, wow, that's fabulous. So she and I got together at the Safety Harbor Spa, and I was honored to be a Moxy woman. I believe it was February of 2008, and had the pleasure of also doing Women Taking Care of Music last year. And Jean said something else even more fabulous was coming and invited me to do this.
Tell me, my Moxy moment was?
My Moxy moment, well, something that relates directly to the last show. I was on stage with my guitar player, and we were playing to a backing track. And as the song started, it was playing so low that we couldn't hear where it was. And my guitar player, I wasn't sure if he was in the right place or not. And I just went ahead and started singing, but something it didn't feel right. And there on stage, in front of the entire audience and everyone, I said, stop the track. And I just decided, and I actually gave a speech, a little presentation about being more and what it takes to be more. And I said, the one great thing about being more is it also means you can do whatever you feel like. And I turned around and I said, let's do this again and take it from the top. And it's so funny because if I was actually stopping to think as this process was happening, and if I was observing myself from the outside and thought it all through, it probably never would have happened. But I'm glad that I let my Moxy take over, because I knew it wouldn't have been right if I didn't. So it was a bit of a Moxy move, if you will, but well worth it. Well worth it.
And how do you feel that the Moxy in you is going to help you survive? You know how the world is like hard now? It's hard to make it in terms of finance. I'm going to move this a little bit. In terms of just a lot of things going on right now in the world. How do you think that Moxy is going to survive in whatever arena, whether it's music, business, finance? You know, how do women have to call upon this to just survive now? How do you think?
Well, there's a different mentality here, because if you're in a survival mentality and if you're focusing on all of the negative things that are happening, then yes, then you're surviving. But if your general way of looking at the world, or at least if your willingness to look at the world and to see the magnificence and to see the progress and to see the beauty, then you're not surviving anymore. You're not participating in that consciousness. And I guess for me, I've had, like anyone, major things in my life. I've had major tragedies. I've had deaths and illnesses and all kinds of things, just like anyone else's story. It's no different from anyone else's. But I guess what keeps me going fundamentally is seeing that everything that happens is a gift. Everything, even the most tragic. Even in the moment when I'm broken down and I'm crying, in that moment I'm not feeling so great, but there's something within me that knows that there's an unseen gift in this. And I allow myself, I give myself, and it takes Moxy to allow yourself to feel and to process really powerful and really intense emotion. And I actually allow myself to do that when I need to. I let myself, I call it going to the river. I let myself take that trip to the river if I need to do that.
So, tell me about, I never heard this phrase before, going to the river or something. Explain that for everybody. Going to the river is?
Well, the going to the river is it's a personal term that I've come up with. And it's basically an emotional place that we all need to go to every once in a while to just release. I also have a little term called going to the ER, express and release. One of the first things I'll try when I'm not feeling so good is I'll try to reach for a positive thought. I'll try to reach for something I'm grateful for, something to appreciate, anything and everything that I possibly could to try to feel better. So I'll do that first. But if I try several different tools that normally work and nothing seems to do it, I just allow myself to just go, to just cry, to yell, to do whatever it is that I feel that I need to do. So allow myself to feel emotions completely and fully and with absolute integrity and with reckless abandon. And so to me, going down to the river, it's kind of a baptismal process. It's a cleansing process. And as long as you don't wallow there, and when I go there, when I give myself permission to do that, I'm very clear to myself that I'm now choosing to release. I have some things I need to release, and I'm ready to release them now. So whether I speak it out loud or I just do that in my own mind, I kind of prepare, I do kind of a sacred ritual, so to speak, and I prepare myself for that. And I just let myself do what I need to do. And then after that, there's just a period of just quiet, just numbness, so to speak. And then after that, it's like I've cleared the field. It's like I've allowed myself to just cleanse my being. And now I'm in a place to where I can start inviting and seeing the solution. Because to try to fight through something, if you're under, I mean, even on a simple level, if you're under just stress and you're focusing on the problem, if you're talking about the problem, you're focusing on the problem, you're getting into details about the problem and whose fault it was and why it's their fault and how long it's been their fault, you can't find a solution. You stay stuck. It doesn't matter what it is or what's going on. You know, so to do whatever you need to do to feel better in any way that you possibly can, and even if it means going to the river, it's a trip worth a journey.
So tell me about, I didn't see you this morning and I want to know this, or, you know, I missed you. I was back here doing an interview. But tell me, when I perform, I want you to tell me, how do you help people go to the river? When I perform, I do this.
Well, when I perform, my little expression is empower, inspire, and transform. Most of the words in the music that I use are designed to take people from a place of light frustration to even neutrality up to bliss. All of the music that I write and perform and the words that I focus on, even the stories that I tell, I focus on the positive aspects of that journey. So I don't get too much into exploring the pain and going back to the past and all of that, because we already do such a great job of that. We already do that, and sometimes too much of that. We do that so much that we stay stuck there and we keep telling that same story over and over and over again. But what I like to do is just kind of light that little fire. So if there's a little bit of something starting to kindle, just a little bit, there's a little spark happening, what I do is I help to bring that up to an inferno if that person is ready for it.
Perfect.